Hello and welcome. My name is Brett Matthews from Boiler Finance Made Easy. I want to show you something I think you'll find very interesting, but before I do, take a listen to what Gary has to say here.
Hi, my name's Gary. I'm from Flowrite. I own a plumbing and heating company called Flowrite Southwest Limited, and I was looking for something to allow me to grow my business organically through boiler sales in order to allow me to step back from the tools myself and also put a couple of vans on the road, have a couple of guys working for me with a bit of consistency through boiler sales. So over the last 12 months I've been working with Brett, who's been doing an absolutely excellent job for me. He set up an automated system where I get leads, I'd say probably 1 to 2 a day, which are giving me consistency of work through boiler sales. The leads are coming in completely autonomously. I have no input into that. It's fit straight into my business plan without any additional input or taking up any more of my time, which I clearly don't have. Another thing that's worked really well alongside that is Boiler Finance, which has actually opened the door through the sales that Brett has managed to generate for me. I mean, the service that he's given me over the last 12 months has been excellent. I'm very happy with the leads that I'm getting. Like I say, I get probably 1 to 2 a day. Not all of them are successful, as you'd expect, but it has significantly improved the number of boiler sales that I get through the door. Coupling that with the finance that I'm now offering, my number of sales have grown exponentially, and 12 months on from when we started, I'm seeing clear growth, and I'm showing that the boiler sales side of the business are now growing in the direction I want them to grow, and I'm very, very pleased with the outcome of working with him.
So that's Gary, just one of the clients who we have helped and grow and scale his boiler installation business. During the last 4 years, I've learned and perfected how to bring boiler leads and sales success to businesses just like yours. In the next 10 seconds, I'm going to reveal exactly what we did to break monthly sales records for boiler sales leads. Now, I know this diagram looks a little bit cheesy, but bear with me. This is what I call my secret formula. And over here on the left-hand side, we've got the who, then we've got the where, the bait, and finally on the right-hand side, where as well. Let me explain this. So first of all, on the far left, the who. Well, we're talking about people that are searching for a new boiler. So it's fair to say that's our target audience. That's who we're looking for. And the second step is where. And obviously there is one particular area these people are searching online, and it's in Google. So I'm going to be talking about that in greater detail in just a moment, but that clarifies the where. The third part, of course, is that if they are hanging out in Google and that's where they're carrying out their searching, we need to know exactly what kind of bait, what things are interesting to these people in order to get them to take action and ask people just like you a price for a new boiler. Once we've done that, once we've got those steps figured out, we then need to complete the journey, which is to take them to somewhere we want to take them. And in this case, it's to a specific website, your website, where they can get an automatic quote for exactly the kind of boiler that's right for their home. So that's what I call the 4-step process there. And I'm going to be talking about that in the next few minutes of this short presentation. I became very successful by adopting what I call the accurate laser precision online targeting method. I'm going to explain this in more detail. First of all, you will have heard of Google Ads. Now, this used to be known as Google AdWords. It's now branded as Google Ads. It's exactly the same thing. It's a platform that Google allows advertisers to create a 24/7, 365 days a year salesman. That's really it in a nutshell, and that's the back end, a quick view of it there, but that's effectively what we're going to be talking about as part of this system. Now, if you were to carry out a search in Google, this is what it looks like on the front end. So here you can see a search for boiler install leads. Now that's leads as in Yorkshire leads. And you can see there clearly the first 3 out of the 4 listings in this case are for boiler ads. They're literally an advert. They're not a SEO or a standard organic listing. They sit at the top of Google. In fact, now this slide is a little bit old and the ads hardly look like adverts at all. There's just literally an AD there in the same color as the text. You wouldn't really know they're adverts. But here's the interesting thing. Number one, they are dominated, or they can be dominated, by the big boys. And as you can see here, Glow Green, number 1. Number 2 is Boiler Plan UK, and of course British Gas sitting in position 3. However, we know exactly how to interrupt this pattern and be part of putting an advert for a local boiler installer right there in position 1, 2, 3 or 4. Now, it used to be just for the big boys, but because of the way Google have now set their platform up, it's incredibly competitive. And only if you're really good, doesn't matter on the size of the business, if you're really, really good at Google Ads, can you get into one of those top 4 listings. It is a science and it is an art. So I'm going to be breaking this down in more detail, but there is just a quick insight into what Google Ads look like on the front end when a potential buyer for a boiler carries out a search. Now, most businesses fail with Google Ads. Doesn't matter what industry it is, whether it's for boilers, whether it's for another bricks and mortar business, or even an e-commerce product. If they're using Google Ads, majority of businesses do fail with Google Ads. Why? Because they don't understand the psychology of buyers and the secret conversion process. Now, a conversion process can either be to get a lead, in which case this is what we're talking about, an inquiry, someone that wants to find out how much a boiler costs, and then the sales process starts. Or indeed, if you're selling online direct from a website, then of course that would be classed as a sale, not as a lead. In a nutshell, I've spent 8 years learning exactly how to master the art of conversions, either to the lead, which is what we're talking about today, or a sale using Google Ads. And modesty aside, I've become an expert at it in many industries, including residential boiler installations. Let me explain why you might be possibly doubting this could work for you. These are the top 5 reasons why Google Ads fail. Number 1, the keyword search does not match your keywords exactly. I'm going to briefly explain this. So when a person types into Google new boiler, and they might be, say, in, Leeds, for example, then unless you have that particular keyword in your account set up in a certain kind of way, and it also matches the correct wording in your advert, your adverts are not going to show. Or if they do, they're not going to be relevant to the search, and therefore highly likely they will not get clicked on and followed through with inquiry. That's the number 1 reason why Google Ads fail for most businesses. Number 2, and this is vitally important, the landing page that you drive customers to does not answer their problem very well. Now, I see this happen all of the time, and I am talking about your website if you actually have one. So if your website is there, but it doesn't answer their problems, it doesn't get to what they're looking for immediately, and we call it the 8-second rule, you'll find that the consumer bounces off and goes looking elsewhere in Google. Number 3, the Google Ads your potential customers see are simply not enticing enough or relevant enough for them to take action. And again, they simply go looking elsewhere. Number 4, most ad campaigns are not consistently optimized by an experienced ads manager. Now, Google Ads is an amazing system, but it's also incredibly complex and is getting more and more complex with the artificial intelligence solutions that are behind it. And it does take an experienced manager to operate these campaigns successfully, but it also takes an experienced manager who understands your specific industry. In this case, we're talking about boiler leads. It takes an experienced manager in boiler leads to really perfect an ads account on your behalf. Now, 5th, your entire Google Ads account and sales process is not normally set up to compete with those so-called big boys. And there are a number of things now that you can do to be absolutely on a level playing field with those guys. And here's the secret that we've discovered. There is a way to buy those leads much cheaper than what they can and make this a viable option. Okay, so they're the top 5 reasons why ads do fail. Would you like to see evidence of customers acquired for less than £25 using Google Ads? I'm going to show you some dashboards of some Google Ads accounts of installers where this is really working incredibly well. So take a look at this. First of all, on the top left-hand side, on the top right-hand side in yellow, it says last 30 days, 24th of July to the 22nd of August. Now this is the date range that we are measuring the data here that I'm showing you. And as you can also see, that would tell you it's in the summer months, which is not the best period to be looking at these kind of results. Main reason, there are less boiler inquiries. There are more people advertising, and therefore the competition is higher, and therefore it's a Darwin effect, and only the fittest do survive. And that means that the cost of inquiries are normally much higher than the winter months, coming from September through to April next year. Okay, so that's the date range. Now, here's the interesting thing. Looking at the first column on the left-hand side, it says gas. And then underneath it says oil, and then it says LPG. This company were operating 3 different campaigns. I'm going to focus on the first 2, gas and oil. Let's look at gas first. First column, green arrow above it, says average cost. Now £3.75 is the average cost per click for a particular advert or keyword in their campaign. Now that's incredibly cheap. I normally see those figures somewhere in the region of 5, 7, 10, even £12 a click for particular keywords. At £3.75 in a very competitive area, that is fantastic. When you combine that also with summer season, as I pointed out, it really is quite outstanding. The second column, £1,234.16, is the total amount spent in that period of 24th of July to the 22nd of August. That's the total spend for the 30 days. And then the most important factor here is the number of conversions. Now conversions in this case are measured as leads, as I said earlier. So we've generated 60 leads, 60 inquiries with information on a follow-up to individuals looking for a new boiler. Total cost for them was the 1,234. So just hold those figures in your mind. I'm going to come back to them just shortly. The fourth column along shows you the average conversion cost. So as I said, for under £25 a lead, we're generating leads. As you can see, £20.57. The last column I want to show you just here is on the far right, the average position in Google, 2.4. This means we're placing a local boiler installer right amongst the big boys at position 2 or position 3 nationally in Google. Again, pretty impressive. Okay, quickly on the oil, you can see again, huge savings on the cost per click on this one, £1.52 for oil boilers, and a total spend of just under £100, £98.78 to generate 7 leads, and a total conversion cost £14.11, and sitting in Google at 1.7. So there again, either position 1 or position 2 in Google averages out at 1.7. Again, very impressive figures. Let me ask you a question. Would you spend £1,234 to buy 60 boiler leads, knowing that 50% will become paying customers? In other words, of those 60, around 30 will become actual installations that you go out and do for a total cost of advertising at £1,234. Would you spend £98 to buy 7 oil boiler leads, knowing 70% of them became paying customers? Now, you will also know that oil boilers typically do have greater profit margins in them, and you'll also know that there are less of them. So to buy them for just under £100 and knowing that 70% of those 7 are going to convert is fantastic business. Here's another installer account. Again, take note, this is in the summer date range, and you can see there highlighted 24th of July, 22nd of August, the last 30 days. So again, we're looking at gas boilers only here, And on the third column along, you can see the average cost per click, CPC, £5.17. That's the cost per click on this particular account on average. Here's the other important figure, £491.56 spent in the entire month of that period. And that generated 23 leads, okay, 23 leads with an average cost of £21.37, again under the £25 threshold. Final column on the right, average 2.5. This installer is again going toe to toe with national companies that are competing for boiler leads throughout the UK. So again, pretty impressive figures. Now, here's the question. Would you spend £500 to get, worst case, 8 boiler sales from those figures? Let me just remind you what we saw there. 491.56, 23 leads. Let's just say of those 23 leads, only 8, so we're talking just 30% converted to a boiler sale. So that's 8 times an average boiler sale price I've taken at £1,800. Times that through £14,400. Would you spend £500 advertising to generate £14,400 profitable revenue for your business? I think you'll agree it's a no-brainer, right? Great. Okay, so what is included in our boiler leads marketing system that generates such fantastic low-cost leads? Let me break it down for you. First of all, we provide you with your own branded website. It's a lead generator tool as well. It's completely branded for your company. It looks and feels and represents your company, but it provides the following. Number one, a complete quote system for gas, oil and LPG boilers. And those prices in there are controlled exactly by you. Number two, it provides all the contact details and it's a data capture system. So you will get access to everybody that makes an inquiry based upon clicking through an advert through to your specific branded lead generation system. You will also get instant notifications of any new leads. So as soon as somebody requests a price, they fill out the form, they get their price, you will get an instant notification. The website that you'll get also has a home survey diary booking tool. Now this allows a consumer to simply complete the process after getting the quote and choose a morning or an afternoon time period subject to what you make available and book an appointment with you. Now obviously this is exactly what you want. It completes the sales process for you almost. You literally are turning up to a customer that says, tell me more. Now, if the home survey diary system doesn't always work for you, we've also built something else too. We call it the DIY survey. Now, this allows a consumer, once they've got their price, to send photos directly to you inside the system, and you will receive those photographs instantly in the notification process. And what you'll receive is photographs of the old boiler, the wiring, the pipes into that boiler, and also where the flue exits the house side of the house or from the roof. And from those selected photographs that you ask for, you can make a fair assessment of what the likely boiler price will be. Now this works great for those people that can't commit to a home survey, or if the travel time is prohibitive to you in terms of getting out there in order to carry out a survey. It works wonderfully well if the home survey is not an option. You also get, and this is the most important thing and it underpins everything, your own boiler finance facility with market-leading finance options. I can tell you the financing in this program is the most competitive rates I've seen, incredibly flexible, and the process is so well developed for the consumer in mind and for you to give really fast, quick decisions. It works great and it really does underpin the success, the entire success of getting so many leads for such little price. Now, the second part to it, the other side of the coin, is you'll get your own Google Ads account that enable the whole thing to work. It's loaded with our proven, highly accurate keywords data. Now, we've spent with clients a lot of money over several years, more than 3 years, collecting Google data for boiler leads. Now, this tells us something, and if we're really good at our work, which I like to think we are, we know exactly what keywords work and what type of bidding strategy to use with those keywords. Secondly, we provide high converting ads, which again are tested. The words resonate with the consumers, and we know which ads get the high click-through rate, are more successful, and create the leads that I just showed you in a few previous slides. We also allow you to have directly managed ads by our ads expert team. This is crucial. People that understand the boiler market is an absolute prerequisite, and our team have got a huge amount of experience in your industry. You'll also get weekly management reports telling you exactly what is going on. And finally, you will get direct access to me if you're part of this program too. So, if this sounds very interesting, you will need to act fast. We're opening up just 7 territories from next month. In fact, they will be opening up from this month, September. This means only 7 boiler installers will get access to our entire program. In order to secure your interest, you need to add your details to the form on the right and book an appointment with me. And that appointment will take approximately 20 to 30 minutes, and we will cover all of the questions that you have, and we'll go into more detail about how the program works. And if there's a good fit between what you're looking for and certainly what we're looking for too, there's the possibility that we can select one of those territories for you and with you. I want to thank you for your time. I must stress, if you do want to take action, you do need to do that right now. You need to fill out that form, book an appointment with me directly, and we'll get together on the phone and discuss how this could work for you. My name is Brett Matthews. Thank you for your time.